Hello, I'm Michael here from RC Groups, and today we're going to assemble the B25 bomber from Hobby King. It's their newest entry in the B25 class or style of plane, and this is a Taft model plane. I've looked it over and I actually started the assembly process last night, but only a little bit to get a head start on today's video. The tail section comes in 3 pieces. The servos are already mounted in the bottom and connected to control arms. The vertical stabilizers and rudder were 2 separate pieces, and all I've done so far is applied some CA glue and glued them onto the end of the horizontal stabilizer. So I've started the process. The next process that will take place when I'm off camera is I will unwind these wires and lead them into the fuselage, and then we will have 2 bolts going in through the bottom of the fuselage to secure the tail in place. And there are the holes down here, and there are molded blocks so that I should have no difficulty having it nicely fit and being in the proper and correct position for the plane to fly properly. So we'll undo the wires and bolt the tail piece onto the fuselage. There are 6 silver bolts included in the kit. 5 of them are this size, 3 by 40 millimeter, and 1 is a 3 by 25 millimeter. The 3 by 25 went in the bottom back hole. 1 of the 3 by 40 millimeters went in the front hole. They have been screwed or bolted into the horizontal stabilizer. It is now secured in place. I ran the wires down into the front of the fuselage and then pulled them, or the middle I should say, and then pulled them forward to keep them out of the way. Everything in the back is set to go. I will connect the servos to the receiver before I connect my rudders. I want that to be in a center position before I deal with those clevises. Now, we're done with the fuselage for a moment. We next move on to the wing. We're going to be connecting the motor or engine nacelle to the wing. It is secured in place by this piece of foam jutting forward that goes into a molded square here, and then 1 screw goes in here. It's a black screw. 2 are included in the kit. There are 4 wires to be connected up: the retract servo wire, the throttle control wire from the speed controller, and the power wires. Just as there are 4 here, I will show you a still picture of them all connected. There's no instruction as to which nacelle goes where, but looking on Hobby King's website, I saw that they have the wheel on the outside of the nacelle on a picture on the bottom. So I will be using this nacelle with this wing. I've already connected 1 nacelle to the wing half. Again, just connecting the 4 wires, fitting the molded piece of foam into the nacelle, and then 1 screw going back here. The key to this one is to be watching from the side and making sure you line it up with the hole that's in the wing. There's a little plastic mount. If you go to the side, you're just going to screw into foam and it won't do you any good. So make sure you line that up properly before you apply any pressure to your screw to put it in place. This wing half is finished. I'll do the other and I'll be back with you in a moment. In mounting the second engine nacelle, I came into a bit of glue and foam together blocking the hole, so I had to take it off, push the foam and glue out, and then secure it with the screw. Very simple process, but I wasn't expecting to have to do that. The first one went so smoothly. The 2 wing halves slide together. They are intended to be able to be taken apart for storage or transportation. They slide onto the wing rod, and then the pieces fit like a puzzle together here. They are finally secured when put in the fuselage and mounted with these mounting plates, and that will securely join them together for the purpose of flying. So I will mount it to the fuselage and be back with you in a moment. The plane appears to be relatively close to assembly. It's not because the wiring isn't done yet. I'll be doing that out at the flying field, but let me explain what I've done. The back of the wing has 2 molded plugs. They fit into the fuselage. They help tighten it up and hold it in place. The wing mounting pieces, these white connectors, are held in place by bolts. They help hold the wings together, and they go into a piece of wood at the bottom, probably with metal underneath it, so that the bolts screw in there. So the wing assembles relatively quickly. All I have left to do is connect the radio and put the scale propellers on They are counter-rotating props. I'll have to determine which one goes where when I see them in operation. But I want to talk about the wiring here because I'll be doing it out at the field. There is a harness for the battery connections to the speed controllers, and that comes forward and is right here and isn't a problem. The battery will go here, they'll plug together, very simple. The wires for the wings plug into a little connector box, and those will be very easy. So the wing connects up very simply. What I have to figure out, and I think I know how I'm going to do it, is connecting the box to my receiver. Okay, this is the connector that comes with the plane. You can see the bars on the left and the right. Those are the connectors for the wires from the wing. Now, the servos are all plugged in that are in the fuselage, and there are single wires going out to the receiver. The one that's not plugged in is channel 7. There is no channel 7, but 1 through 6. I've put them in for a orange receiver rather than the Futaba setup that is shown. And I have one wire, and that is the throttle wire that's supplying the power. So only one needs to supply power to the receiver or the servos. The rest are all signal wires from the receiver. The servos themselves will get power from this unit, which is supplying it through the different ordinary servo wires. Now, to connect everything up, the wires from the wing come in here. The Y connector harness for the battery goes forward, and the battery will be in the front of the compartment, and the wing wires need to go backwards where this unit is to connect up there. Well, the B25 is fully assembled. Out at the field, I was able to do the wiring, and then I connected up and secured the battery back here at home because I didn't have any Velcro-like material with me. And I have balanced it with some weights, which we'll discuss in the article itself. The final details involved securing machine guns in various locations, including the front, up on the top turret, on the side of the fuselage, and there's even one in the very back for the tails. The props are counter-rotating, and once I had everything wired up, I made sure which way the motor went. The far prop rotates in from the top. This one rotates in from this top. I used a little bit of removable Loctite, i.e. non-permanent, to secure first the nut and then the spinners in place, because the one that's rotating counter-normal direction often has a tendency to spin off if not fully secured. There are the tail machine guns. The rudders are now connected. Ailerons and flaps are connected, centered, and work appropriately. I have not dual rate but triple rates, and I have 3-position flaps for flaps up, takeoff position, and landing.